the big canal. Oh, it's so slow, so slow. And I tried to go away to a place of my own, working hard, fill my time from early on till I hit the bed. Amsterdam was stuck in my head.
Oh, it's some kind of student rule that you can't ignore. Oh, it's some kind of natural fact. Sometimes you're just left to be alone.
Baby went to Amsterdam, she put a little money to traveling. Now it's so slow, so slow. Baby went to Amsterdam, 4-5 days by the big canal. Now it's so slow, so slow. Baby went to Amsterdam, she put a little money to traveling. Now it's so slow, so slow. Baby went to Amsterdam, 4-5 days by the big canal. Now it's so slow, so slow, slow.
You dress me up in a nurse's outfit. It rides and sticks to my thighs and my hips. You put me in a teacher's little denim skirt, ruler and desk so I can make it hurt. But I keep you on your best behavior. Honey, I can't be your savior. Love you to the grave and father. Honey, I am not your martyr. You dress me in an orange black habit. Hail Mary pass, 'cause you know I'll grab it. Hand me your bags and a little billy club, like I'm supposed to book you on a hit and run. Adore you to the grave and father. Honey, I can't be your martyr. Maybe it's just human nature, but honey, I can't be your savior. But then you say, please. Then you say, please. Dress me in leather, well, that's a little better. But that's still not it. None of this shit fits. But I keep you on your best behavior.
Along with our good friend Jeff Philbin. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be back here in the Signature Theater here at the Epicurean Hotel, and to think that over 8 years of having this event here, 2 million meals have gone back to the community because of the great support of people like this in our room tonight.
Yeah, and we'll talk some more about those, but yes, thank you. I'm struggling a little bit at the start because there are red lines here that I have to stay in between.
We are trapped in between a box.
Yes. This is already going, it's difficult already. So, if you were here last week, apparently I was standing out of camera the entire time. So, we've been asked to rectify that.
But
So we're going to try hard.
We're going to try a little harder because
Yes.
the rules are we got to stay in our lanes, and the rules for our chefs tonight are that they're going to receive a mystery box of ingredients that are not commonly prepared.
Very nice transition.
Very nice transition. I'm going with the cards tonight, and they're challenged to create a unique, distinct, incredible meal. Our judges, who we're going to learn a little bit more tonight, are going to be sealing their fate and seeing who's going to move on in this incredible epic chef journey.
Yeah, and we'll get to those in a moment, but let's first just talk a little bit about why we're here and why we do this. First, there's a lot of friends in the room that have supported our cause for many, many years. We're grateful always to have them back. One of the ways we think about our work is we're having dinner together. One of the most important things that we can all do is gather around a table, and when you think fundamentally about our mission, we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to gather around a table and have a meal. And so when Jeff mentioned 2 million meals, those are meals that went on the table of someone in our community who otherwise might not have had access to a meal. And so this does serve one really important purpose, which is to make sure that we're there for those in our community who struggle. But Jeff, we also do this, and why do we have a high-end, fancy dinner? I assume you all have been enjoying the adult beverages. Why do we do that? Because we also celebrate the culinary arts, right? It's another reason why we do this.
It's absolutely so true, Thomas, because these chefs are donating their time tonight to be here. And these are some of the most incredible, talented chefs that are going places in this entire food scene. Right now, the radar is here. The lights are on us. Everybody wants to see and to feel what's happening here in the Tampa Bay area from a culinary scene. And they're charged to give back. And that's who are here for tonight. And we've got a quick little video to introduce our first chef competing tonight, Chef Jada Vidal.
I've been cooking in professional kitchens since a very young age. Started off as a line cook within the Burns Foundation and slowly working my way through different fine dining restaurants in Tampa. My love of cooking started from a really young age. I actually got into cooking through baking. I initially wanted to be a pastry chef, but after watching lots of Food Network shows and going to culinary school, I knew that it was my passion. I enjoy all different types of cuisines, so I still have my heart set on baking, but I love Japanese cuisine, go figure that I'm here now. And I also love different cuisines from my background, Cuban and African American food. It's what I grew up on, and it's what I love to eat too. I'm definitely the first chef of my family. It's kind of interesting to be the only one in this career. You have lots of support through your family. Sometimes they don't know exactly how to support you, but it's a good feeling. The cuisine here at Noble Rice I would describe as modern Japanese. We've definitely got amazing sushi rolls as well as a selection of nigiris, which is what we accredit ourselves to. We also have really amazing hot dishes that come from the back of the kitchen that are awesome as well. We definitely accredit ourselves to where we source our tuna from. It's really amazing tuna that we actually get shipped in from Japan in the Toyosu market, which is known for their live auctions. So to be the only place in Tampa that's getting that, I mean, you can't find it anywhere else around here. I've had a friend in the past who's actually recently won Epic Chef, and I used to work at the Epicurean Hotel. So I've seen kind of the ins and outs of it, but never got to be a part of it. So I'm very excited this year. Just kind of experiencing that creative outlet and also being able to be there to support a really great cause. Being able to be a part of an event that has such a great cause towards ending hunger. I mean, as chefs, we see how much food on a daily basis can get wasted, and it just makes you more fortunate, especially when you see the ins and outs of it. To the other chefs at the event, I look forward to working with you. I'm very excited to do this, and let's end hunger together. To anyone who hasn't visited Noble Rice yet, we're open 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday, serving up the best tuna, the best modern Japanese cuisine that you'll find in Tampa. So definitely come check us out.
From Noble Rice. Now, it wouldn't be a competition without someone to compete against, and that is no other than Chef Adriana Siller, and let's learn a little bit more about Adriana.
So I've been a professional chef for 10 years now. Straight out of high school, I jumped straight into the field and been in kitchens ever since. I've worked several different places in Tampa. I worked at Rooster in the Till. Did some private chef stuff for a while as well, and now I've been at Bandit for a year. Being with Rooster in the Till, that was my first experience of a more elevated style of food. So I really enjoyed that. Ever since then, I've kind of been looking to achieve that again, and we're trying to elevate my style a bit more and find my food voice. You know, I think it really depends on how you like to eat. That's what mine is based on. I cook the way that I like to eat. Getting into cooking was definitely inspired by my family. Grew up cooking with my parents, with my grandma. I'm Mexican, so I grew up in a Mexican family. Lots of memories cooking with my family. It's very nostalgic, and that's where I found my love for food, and I knew I wanted to cook for the rest of my life. At work, obviously I don't cook Mexican food much here, but we do like to put a lot of Spanish influence and Mexican influence into the menu whenever we can. We have a pastry program run by our chef Jalen. Then they make amazing pastries, and we use all the bread in-house. Everything is made in-house fresh. We're just like a locally owned all-day cafe. We do a lot of breakfast and lunch items. We try to use locally sourced foods from ingredients from around Florida and from here in St. Pete. I've done Chopped on the Food Network, and I was lucky enough to win that one. So I do have some experience with food competition. I feel a lot of pride to be involved with this event and to just, you know, do my part in it. I think it's obviously a very important thing to make sure everyone has food and no one goes hungry. And I'm excited to meet everybody, to talk to everybody, to get ideas, to just have fun. Everyone loves Bandit. It's really a community. So I would say just come and check us out. We're continuously improving our menu all the time. We have a lot of exciting things coming in the future.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Chef Adriana Siller from Bandit Coffee, ladies and gentlemen. As the food is starting to come out from our kitchen here, please do not hesitate to start having your first few bites, because I want to learn what they're eating tonight. So tell me.
So the first course, the second two courses are prepared by the Epicurean Hotel. We would actually first, another round of applause. They don't have to come do this, right? I think we often liken it to if I was sitting at my desk and I had people come in and judge how I was doing in my performance all day. I have some of my colleagues outside. Maybe you can ask them what their assessment of my performance is. But we're really grateful that you're willing to come do this with us and for us and for our community. So the appetizer that you're getting tonight is prepared by a very special part of our organization. We have an area that operates 3 restaurants, and those 3 restaurants provide a thoughtful, nutritious, dignified meal to folks in our community who don't have a place to go eat. So we operate 3 of those, 2 here in Hillsborough County and 1 over in Pinellas County. But our chef team, who is nothing short of miraculous, that can take unknown ingredients and make them into something terrific, have prepared this for you. So first, I'd like to ask you to watch this video about Trinity Cafe, and then we'll have Chef Daniel come in.
I started cooking when I was very young. My mother and father both worked, so my grandmother would watch us. I'd get antsy, and I would wander into the kitchen. She said, "Danny, what are you doing here? I told you to sit down." I said, "Well, I want to help." She said, "Okay, come on, help." And that's really where my passion for food started. At 56 years old, I've been cooking for 32 years, cooked all over the country for most everyone imaginable. So it was a big transition going from just serving, 2 or 3 star style fine dining food to now making a home scratch, home cooked meal that may be the only meal this person's going to eat versus someone or a couple paying $150. Now I'm doing it for free in an environment that's all about dignity and respect, and really more about the guests now than it was ever before. Maitre d' sits them at the table. They walk to the table. They're greeted by a server. They're asked if they want their food all at once or coursed out. They get 3 courses. With the economy being the way it is right now, it's hard on people, So what we're seeing a lot more of is families coming in. We're doing everything we can to take that day outside, get them out of it, get them in a safe place, and really, really treat them like family in a sense, which is what I try to get my staff to do, and it's really the angle that we take. Trinity 3 is an empowerment center, so they're much more involved with that, sort of a one-stop shop, clothes, showers, they have programs there, computers you can use, classes. The majority of our product does come from Feeding Tampa Bay, so it's very unconventional, and yes, it is like CHOP. We don't write 7-day menus, we write what we think we're going to have for 7 days, but whatever hits the back door can change that in a second. So without the team, this does not happen, and I have been blessed to have a great, hardworking team. I have Fresh Force employees. which is a program of Feeding Tampa Bay. They go through a culinary program, and then the students can come work with us. We have 2 or 3 other certified chefs who work here. Yeah, we have volunteers come in all the time, and they're such an instrumental part of what we do every single day. They work with our full-time staff. I mean, it's so humbling beyond the biggest level you can ever imagine. It'll make you realize what really, really, really is important in life, and that's family, and it's the basic sustenance of giving someone water and food.
What you just saw there is a testament to the hard work, but more than that, the leadership to get it done. Chef Daniel Graves, everybody. Daniel, 2 words stand out to me so much in that video: dignity and respect. Those were the 2 words that you said in that one. Tie it all together for how and where we're at today and what you and your team were able to make for our guests tonight.
Oh, tonight we made a smoked duck flautas. We smoked it with a spicy honey and a sour Mexican orange juice for about 5-6 hours. We picked it, rolled it into a flauta. It has an array of different chilies in it, peppers, onions. We tied it off with a roasted poblano crema, which is the avocado crema on the plate. We also did a little pickling veg, which has some radishes in it, some mango, and finished off with some pickled red onions. And we just wanted to do something that was fun, something that was a little bit different. We did a Mexican street corn salsa, because when I think of this dish, I think of street food, which is one of my favorite things to eat. So that was the theme behind this. We want to do something fun.
Dignity and respect coming through in a dish that is from a team that is sometimes given stuff in a chopped environment, not knowing what you're going to be given, but making something like this, but every day. What is that like?
It's 32 years of doing this. It's the funnest that I've had in this business. It's always interesting. We try to be as innovative as we can with the ingredients that we're given, and we try to make a home-cooked meal with dignity and respect, as if we were cooking for our family. So it's that important to us.
It's that important to us.
Everybody, Chef Daniel. One of the nice things about the world in which we live is we find people who are at the top of their craft and their ability who say, I'd like to do something different with my skills and talents and come work in an organization like ours. One of the great things that happened during COVID, which we all are tired of COVID stories, one of the gentlemen that came and cooked with us was one Jeff Philbin. Right, and so when we had all hands on deck, we had people that stepped in and helped us do that. We're always grateful for the gifts of you, Chef Doug, Chef Marvin, and the entire team. And many of the folks that work at Trinity with Chef Daniel are also people who have come through our job training program. Right, so they're folks that we have built a process by which they can return back into the community, get skills and training they need, and then build a career.
Absolutely. We have Fresh Force employees who have actually gone through a training program and have been with me now for 2.5 years, and it's formalized their training. They're now in the hospitality industry, and they've chosen to do so as their career. So we're blessed to also have people like that on my team.
So, yes. So you might have thought that this was just an appetizer, and it sounds based on the ingredients, it is that and much more. But Trinity really stands for, as Jeff said, something very, very different, making sure that every human being that comes into our care has an opportunity to have a dignified access with food and a meal, groceries, and return some of the things that we all take for granted, our ability to gather food in the way we want. So, Chef, thank you for being here. Thanks for the great appetizer, and we will see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
So speaking of ingredients and food, now we get to the
fun part.
Yes,
the fun part here is we're going to have the Epicurean team here start bringing in the secret ingredients. Now, our 2 chefs tonight are going to be cooking with some incredible dishes here that are going to be served up for our judges, but there's the catch. There's a little bit of some fun here because there's going to be 2 mystery ingredients that they're going to be working with tonight. Our first mystery ingredient item for tonight is going to be okra.
Oprah?
Oprah.
Oh, okra.
Oprah.
Not Oprah.
Okra. Okra is going to be one of the ingredients. But we're going to be joined with another fun-filled favorite here as well. And the camera on this side here, I think, is a great viewing of some crawfish tails. So our two chefs will be cooking with crawfish tails and okra. They have 30 minutes to cook the best dish that they can. And
So now, before we turn the clock on, what's your immediate impression of why these are tough to cook with? What's the first thought that comes to your mind?
With the okra there, I would love to see how they can do it because that is a polarizing ingredient. Not a lot of people really like to go for it.
How many people like okra? I think most of them are lying.
Yeah. It's a 50-50 mix. It's a very polarizing ingredient. Crawfish tail's got a nice little bit of some bite to it there. I'm a big crawfish fan myself, so I'd be having a lot of fun. And, you know, they can play very well together if you think about regionality. So there's a lot that we're giving to them tonight.
So what I would do with this, just to offer you some initial impressions.
Please, give it to me.
I would put it into a blender with chocolate sauce. All of it.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
You know what? I mean, I wouldn't go that route, personally.
All right.
But to each their own.
Okay.
But the darkness that comes through with it on the chocolate, who knows? Maybe there's a new
Chocolate
concoction.
makes everything tasty.
Chocolate makes everything tasty, but tonight we got to figure out
We
how
have professionals.
okra and crawfish taste tasty because they got 30 minutes and your time starts now.
Sorry, Audrey. So please go ahead and eat, but we have reached one of the fun parts of our job. Is every year that we do this, we bring in 3 different judges for each competition who graciously give of their time, their experience. So we're going to introduce our judges to you now. Who's going first?
Let's work our way outward to come inward. Let's bring on Jessica.
Jessica, come on up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined here tonight. You may know her on Instagram and all social handles as @TampaFoodGirl, but we know her as a supporter of Feeding Tampa Bay, Miss Jessica Stolenmeyer. Jessica, it's so great to have you here at the Signature Theater here at the Epicurean. Tell us, you just got a little privy of seeing the okra, seeing the crawfish. I mean, is this something that you're going to be photographing tonight? And what is the secret to a great photograph?
Oh, absolutely. I'm for sure going to take a photo, maybe some videos, splice it all together later. What's the secret behind a good photo? A lot of times it's good lighting. That's a huge contributing factor, and just trying to get your angles right.
So the angle's right. Now, we're talking about Tampa right now being a foodie city right now, more than it's been before in its past. I mean, the eyes are on us for it there. Competitions like this certainly bring awareness to great cause-based missions as well. What do you have to say about the angle in which we're telling now a new story of the food scene here in the Tampa Bay area?
Well, I think it's really exciting. Tampa Bay has a couple of amazing things going for it. Number one, we're bringing in a bunch of really great talent from outside. We're having a ton of new people move into the area. So we're getting a lot of diversity here, and there was already diversity to begin with. And then the other amazing thing that we have here is there's a lot of farms as well within Florida, so we have really great quality of ingredients. So we're really fortunate in having a lot of that coming together here.
I love that.
Now, how does someone end up being Tampa Food Girl? Is this something you, how did we get here?
Well, it started as a hobby. I love food. I worked in restaurants for years, and then, you know, I was working my regular job and wanted to do something creative on the side. So I just started posting about food and just kind of seeing where it went, and I just kept doing it more and putting more effort into it, and it
And it has grown from there. So
Yeah.
tell people, how do they get in touch with you? How do they follow you? Sorry, that's what this is for. Really, I'm doing my best here, okay? I don't have much to work with.
It's the blocks.
The red lines are throwing me off. Normally I stood over there in the corner. How do people find out about you and follow you?
So you can follow me at Tampa Food Girl, primarily on Instagram, but also on Facebook, TikTok, and now Threads.
And now Threads. How many people are on Threads? Everybody's on Threads? I don't see any hands. One person on Threads.
One brave soul.
Huh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jessica, for being here with us.
Awesome.
Our next judge is from the, and you like the ring of this, world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jamel Dean, who is a quarterback for the Bucks. Glad to have you here. Please come on in. You got to stand here and look awkward and uncomfortable with us and answer questions. All right, so here's what everybody really wants to know when we get a player from the Bucks. Can you give us Tom Brady's phone number?
Ooh, I cannot do that. Okay, he might block me if I do it.
So how about we FaceTime him right now?
I'll let Tom enjoy
I think he's on a boat somewhere right now, okay? I mean, like, he's got the new boat. I mean, he's taking that thing out for a spin.
So let's talk a little bit about you and your career. You came in the league, you've been 5 years in the league, had a lot of success. I think everybody always wants to know, what is it like to run up to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl? What do you remember most about all of that?
Well, honestly, I remember like towards the end of the game when we looked up and it was 31-9, and it was like, wow, like we really beating the Chiefs 31-9. Like they have not scored a touchdown. So once Leonard Fournette scored that last touchdown, that's where I knew we're winning the Super Bowl. And it's amazing because we won it here in Tampa. Yeah. Like the first city to ever do it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so when you think about that game, obviously they gave you a very expensive ring, right? We understand. Where's your ring right now, by the way?
Oh, I keep it in the same box it came when we first got it. So.
But where in your house exactly is it? No, I'm kidding. So aside from that, what did you keep from that game? What did you say, I'm going to put this on my wall, or I'm going to have this forever? What did you keep?
So I kept the jersey, I kept the helmet, even though they charged it for it, but I didn't care.
Wait. Tara Badiato from the Buccaneers, can you please explain, you charged the player for the helmet? You know, we're going to call the Glazers on that one. We're going to take up a little collection here around, and at the end of the night, we'll help you pay for the helmet.
Oh, that'd be I would appreciate that.
So you kept the uniform and the helmet.
Yeah, and then I tried to keep the confetti, but I guess over time I lost every piece of the confetti I picked up, so.
Understandable. All right, so here's just a couple of other questions. Who is your toughest matchup on the field? Who's the receiver on the other side? Do you go, who's that?
So it was DK Metcalf.
Okay.
Because I consider him as the Megatron of this era of football because the guy, he about 6'4", 230 pounds, runs a 4.33. I'm just like, yeah, I'm about to have my work cut out for me today. But I was up for the challenge because I guarded him in college, and then I knew that he was the guy that I had to make my name for. So we played him in Germany, and then we basically had our one-on-one battle.
Has there been a player that stood out to you that you've gotten starstruck about being inside of that game? I mean, you've got a Tom Brady that was on your team. You get your first pick since against an Aaron Rodgers. Has there been any chance in time that you've become almost like the little kid, that fan again, to say, I'm on the field with him?
It was really Tom Brady that did the most.
We just start from the top and work that way.
You got to start from the top and work down. So funny story is like Tom Brady, he was working out at I can't remember the high school name over there in like by Town and Country area. God, what? Berkeley. It's Berkeley Prep. Berkeley. So I was like, I'm going to finally meet Tom Brady. I'm gonna play it cool, like I seen top athletes before. And then I got on the field and he actually walked up to me. He was like, "Hey, I'm Tom Brady." And then a part of me was like,
"Did you say no shit?"
I just looked. I was like, "I already know I know who you are." And then like after that, I turned around. Gronk was behind me, so I was just like, "Jesus Christ, it's too much in one day."
I love that.
Yeah. So you've had Super Bowl success, Tom Brady, all these great athletic successes on the field and in your life. Is being a judge at Epic Chef perhaps the greatest thing that's ever happened to you?
I feel like I have a say-so now. Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to my first time doing this, and then I love food. I like to eat.
All right, well, you're going to eat some good food. Jamel Dean, thank you for being here with us. Is that it on the judges' introductions? Are we done now?
You know what? I think we need to bring up our final judge for the evening because I need to hear more about what's going on with Rachel Bennett from the Stoller House, everybody. Miss Rachel Bennett. So it's a roast now, she says. All right, so
Give me your best shot.
I don't know. I've never really been the comedy one. I really can't.
Well,
I have to just kind of
neither
feed
have
off
I,
that.
as it turns out. Is my microphone on?
That's how bad we are. They turned off our microphones for it. That's how unfunny
All right,
we really
first,
are.
can you tell us who you are as a human being?
As a human being, I'm from planet Earth. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, my name's Rachel Bennett. I'm from Tampa, Florida, and I'm currently the executive chef of the SoHo House.
So one of the things, do you all know what the Stovall House is? Is everybody aware? Maybe you should tell them what it is.
So the SoHo House is part of the Oxford Commons Hospitality Group. It's a members-only based club. We're located on Bayshore Boulevard. You can't get there if you're not a member, but you can come if you are friends of a member.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
You are not allowed there. You don't have a member number.
I saw the sign. No Thomas allowed.
Yeah.
You know,
Along with no photos, it's no Thomas.
you know, I have feelings. This is hurtful.
Is it?
Yeah.
But the thing that's really special about the SoHo House is that you get to challenge yourself as a chef. We were talking about it last week a little bit about how and what you're able to do. Because, yeah, sure, a lot of the people might know about the SoHo House, but have not had the opportunity to eat there. But great events sometimes do happen there, and you get to kind of have a little bit of fun with that. Tell us a little bit about some of the events that happen there.
Awesome. So at the SoHo House, we have the luxury of being members based. We don't have to do, 500-600 people a night, so I get the luxury to be able to change the menu 4 times a year. We do huge events anywhere from wine dinners, private dinners. We do caviar tastings. We do huge events up to 1,500 people where there's 13 different action stations all around property. So we really get the luxury to do all different kinds of really awesome things.
Now, tell us a little bit about your journey into food. How did you end up in this business? Stovall is relatively new. You've been at different restaurants around Tampa. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
So I actually started at Burns as well. It was one of my first jobs, shucking oysters, my claim to fame, and every bio you read about me. And then I just worked my way up. I got to do some food styling with some really great famous chefs, and then I found Oxford Commons Hospitality about 9 years ago. I started there as a sous chef, and then I became executive sous, and then they let me open the library in 2018 as executive chef. So I was the youngest executive chef in town. It was intense, but I was very grateful for it. And then I came over to the Stovall project in May of last year. So I've been very grateful to find Oxford Commons Hospitality.
And Jeff asked this earlier. What do you think about the food scene here in Tampa? How do you see it?
I think Tampa is very growing at a rapid pace. I think there's lots of wonderful restaurants coming into town. I love seeing the chefs and different restaurants pushing themselves. I do feel like there's this Mediterranean type vibe coming into town a little bit, and definitely this more simple is better kind of vibe as well. But I think that it's just amazing to see all these new restaurants popping up, and not only it's no longer just South Tampa that's cool or downtown that's cool. It's all over Tampa that has a little pocket that's really awesome.
It's that regionalization that really plays into it. I think that that's really the fun piece about it, because you can go from both sides of the bay, and we've had that whole, battle of Tampa versus St. Pete for what that would be. But even more so now, the pockets inside those respective cities are really shining a light on communities and foods that the general public might not have had that exposure. But because now, hey, everyone else is seeing it for what it is, it's raising the bar for exposure to some of these restaurants, just as much as it's exposure for some of these incredible chefs tonight that we're seeing behind us. When you saw some of the ingredients that they were working with, what was going through your head first and foremost?
I mean, I always think when I look at a competition like this, like, how are they going to turn these ingredients and flip it on their head, right? So obviously okra can be hard if it's a little bit slimy. If you don't cook it right, you can grill it so it's not super slimy. I mean, there are 2 ingredients that pair very well together, so they're both very talented chefs behind us, so I think they'll have no problem getting it done. And just like you said, for Tampa to St. Pete, I mean, I've worked in both sides of the bay, and both sides of the bay are up and coming, and they're really doing amazing things. So I'm really excited to see what both these chefs have to offer.
How often do you use the word slimy in your advertising for your food products? Just wondering, because now it's sounding really tasty to me.
I use really weird things. When people ask me what things taste like, I'm often like, it's like this and this made a baby. I'm very weird, but my cooks always remember what I have to say. So slimy, it's one of my adjectives.
So when you think about a meal that you really like to prepare, right? If you're thinking, I want to prepare something at home, what's the meal that you turn to most?
It's really funny that you asked that. So as a chef, as an executive chef, I work probably, my wife's back there laughing at me right now, 'cause she's gonna die. I work a lot, okay? So I am at work most often. If I'm at home, 10 out of 10, I'm ordering pizza. I'm just letting you know right now. I am ordering effing pizza, okay? I don't want to cook. My wife's got like the Domino's app like ready. My pizza's in there.
Wait, you're going for the Domino's?
100%. When you get home at 11, you don't have a lot of options open.
That's a true chef right there. Okay, I will side with you on that one. I will side with you on that one.
Okay, but
Timing is of the essence.
If I have to answer your question lying,
Well, you do have to answer my question.
then it's definitely going to be some sort of pasta dish or any type of filet, béarnaise. I grew up my whole life every Saturday night eating filet, béarnaise, and a baked potato with my dad. So it's definitely going to be something in that realm.
And
Speaking of the nostalgia piece of it all, having a dinner like that with your dad and the filet with the béarnaise, and was that the dish that kind of got you inspired to pursue this pathway for you? Was those memories of being around the table with your dad and having a dinner like that?
It definitely was part of it for sure. I mean, I grew up, my mom was super vegan and she was like a bodybuilder, so she ate super healthy. And my dad was like everything from Publix. Like if it comes from Publix, then we're gonna eat it. And she's laughing, right? Fried chicken, potato salad. But it was Saturday night when he really decided to go all out. So that really was something that he taught me how to cook. He taught me how to do all those things. It really was something that inspired me for sure.
And as someone who's in the food world and has the impact to mold who's coming through your kitchen, how important is it for them to sometimes say, get back to the roots, get back to what brought you here in the first place? For you, it was a filet, a baked potato, and the béarnaise sauce. How important is it that when we think about where we're going with this meteoric rise in the Tampa Bay scene from our food scene, that we don't lose sight at the individual level for what got us there in the first place?
I think one of the great things about being a chef is everyone has a story. Anytime that somebody comes to my kitchen, I always say, like, we're all a band of misfits, right? Like, we all have our own little Peter Pan story of why we work in this industry. So you really have to figure out what makes you you. And I think a lot of I would say probably 10 years ago, everyone was trying to do the next coolest thing, the best thing, the whatever. But now people are really being a little bit more simple and what makes them special. You know, at SoHo House, we don't have the luxury to just be a Japanese restaurant or an Italian restaurant. We cater to a large crowd, so we get to be a little bit of everything. But you have the luxury now in Tampa, if you want to learn Japanese cuisine, if you want to learn Italian cuisine, you can go to all these different restaurants and really kind of grasp that and then figure out what makes you different from everybody else because it's what brought you to this industry.
I love it. There's also signature classes here at the Epicurean as well. This is the signature theater here at the Epicurean where you can learn many of these great cuisines here too. Check a look at their website, theepicurean.com, and you can learn a few more things about how to become like Rachel.
Well, we're just filling time. That's really what we're doing here. I do want to ask you one last serious question. This is not your first time in supporting our work. You volunteered with us before. The chef community in general has been incredible to food relief organizations. Talk a little bit about your involvement in our work, but also in other organizations trying to make sure that our community is better off for your presence in it.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely volunteered with your organization before. I've helped judge. I've done the Tampa Bay Food Fight. I've done lots of booths at all different kinds of community outreach programs. And it's really just about, getting out there and showing your voice and I lost my train of thought. Looking at you made me lose my train of thought. You're like, keep it going. You're welcome. It's really just about, watch out, Cece. It's really just about getting your voice out there and helping the community and, realizing that we all are here on this planet to just serve and help one another. And the sooner we spread more love, the less hate there'll be out there.
Great message for all of us to remember. Thank you.
Serve and help the community. That's what I heard.
I think, again, we said this at the front, but one of the things we love about food is it tends to bring everybody together.
It really does.
Right? And so, speaking of champions, and I do want to make sure that we say that the entire chef and restaurant community has been so good to Feeding Tampa Bay for so many years. We would encourage and ask you to frequent the restaurants you see here tonight, the Epicurean. If you are lucky enough to get into, what is it called, the Duval House? Whatever. If you're lucky, but support our local restaurants because it's not only the chefs and the food, it's all the folks that work there, it's all the people. We've got a couple of great partners in here tonight that make sure that those restaurants have the food that they need. It's an important part of our community. And speaking of important parts of our community, we wouldn't be here tonight without some of our great sponsors. One of the interesting things about doing this for 8 years is we've had almost none of our sponsors ever want to leave. We started out, we didn't have any of these tables. We've had to expand over the years. But first, and we're going to hear a little bit more about them a little bit later, from them a little bit later, but we want to thank Florida Blue for being our lead sponsor here. And so I think this is important, and they brought along some nice guests, although you all look very nice, very well presented, well done on the table, right? But importantly, think about it this way. Florida Blue has invested millions, literally millions of dollars in food relief here in Tampa Bay. You think of them as an insurance provider, and they are that, and they're great at that, but literally millions. They have helped us put fresh, healthy food on many tables in our community. They've been a wonderful, wonderful partner for us. So Florida Blue, thank you for being here this year. There's a few others we'd like to mention. We have a couple of our friends from Chapel Roberts here today who have been with us on this journey for close to 11 years and helping us tell the story of folks in our community. So oftentimes, how many of you have seen our terrific ad spots, the ways in which we tried to tell the story? Nobody's raising their hands. A little bit of a concern. Thank you, Tariq. I appreciate that, buddy. I was drowning over here. If you have seen our great work in the community where we have tried to tell the story of those we serve, Chapel Roberts has helped us do that for many, many years, and we're grateful to have them as sponsors this year as well. And again, you might not think about it, but we have DTCC here, and I want to recognize them for two things. First is, as you all recall in the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of your corporations said, you know what, we're not really comfortable with people going out and volunteering because it's risky. You know who was there every single Saturday and every single Wednesday night for us? DTCC. Now, I said there were two important things. The second most important thing is we have Tariq with us, who is arguably the best dressed man in Tampa. Tariq, stand up. Let him see what you're sporting today.
Love it.
I think we need to rethink the co-host. I think I need to be, this is the new co-host.
I'm digging that. I would trade that right in for the bow tie like that. Come on now.
Quite the man. And DTC and Tariq, thank you for supporting us.
And we couldn't be remiss without thanking our friends Steve and Victoria Heiser up there, West CMR.
Steve was a board member of ours for over 30 years, right? Think about that. And they've continued to support us in so many ways. We also want to mention Ryan Companies who's supporting us this year. They're also building this 200,000 square foot thing that Kelly's going to talk a little bit about later. And so we're really excited to have Ryan Companies here as we expand our vision in the community.
We want to thank our friends over at Carlton Fields for being out here tonight, our friends at Coca-Cola, Cheney Brothers, who's been a fantastic partner with all the food that our chefs are working with this evening, as well as Cisco, who has got an incredible dessert tray and lobby set up with an incredible array of some incredible dishes as well. So make sure you stop by for the desserts on your way out.
Yeah, and I want to point out that in other worlds, Cisco and MetLife might be Cheney Brothers might be going at it, competing for business, right? But you're both here tonight to make sure people can be fed, and we really appreciate that. We're grateful for it. So thank you to them. And so last but not least, we have friends here from MetLife. Thank you for being your new sponsor this year, right? You've been here before, but thank you for being here with us this evening. Again, we're grateful. MetLife has served on our board for many, many years, supported our organization in many ways. So thank you for being here with us this evening.
You know, we haven't even seen what they're cooking tonight.
Well, Rachel went on and on and on. We couldn't get her off stage.
Well, you know, I think it's time that we figure out what our chefs are doing tonight. I mean, folks, do you guys want to know what they're cooking tonight? I kind of do. We're already getting into the tasting. Jada, what are you tasting right now? I saw you just going in for a bite.
So I am tasting that crawfish, which is delicious, by the way.
It's delicious, by the way. So, a great ingredient to have as a base to work with, but you got to tie the okra into it. So, what are you cooking tonight for us?
So I wanted to make sort of like a gumbo-esque soup. I feel like, you know, that's the very traditional route that you would see with these two ingredients. We only have 30 minutes, so typically gumbo takes a few hours to make if you do it right. So this is going to kind of be like a nice bisque soup in the style of gumbo.
I dig it. I dig it. Playing off of the regionality, playing with that southern cuisine there. And that's a smart move. I mean, those two ingredients go very well together, and you're tying it all together. I dig it. Adriana, what do we got going on over here? I'm seeing you playing with the, you fried them up a little bit. All right, so you took the crawfish, fried them up. What are we doing?
Yeah, so I wanted to do kind of like a I knew I wanted to incorporate another protein. I saw the salmon, so right away I was like, maybe salmon. I know I wanted to do the okra a different way, so I put it into a sauce, so like an okra sauce almost. I'm going to put that with the salmon. I fried up the crawfish. I fried up some peppers. I pickled some okra as well. So I'm just going to hope it all goes together.
So you made an okra sauce. You did a pickled okra.
The sauce will go under the salmon, probably the crawfish. I haven't got that far yet.
But I love the fact that you're thinking about
Well,
it.
you had 6 minutes left, just FYI.
6 minutes left, but it's a fun piece of it all because this allows the two of you to have an opportunity to just shine and have some fun. That's what this is about, and for you guys to be enjoying yourself behind this kitchen.
Okay, so speaking of enjoying, your meal is coming out, so please take a few moments and start to enjoy that. And as we get closer into the countdown, we'll have our first judging round, okay?
And we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
You said, girl, you're not Jesus. I got him trying to save the world. Call me a strange girl, inspecting my bruises. I got him trying to save the world. You said, girl, you're not Jesus.
And we are coming up to the final minute here in the first round. We are less than 60 seconds away. Final touches being placed by both of our chefs with their two very unique dishes, both of which are shared with the secret ingredients tonight being our crawfish tails and our okra. Our three judges are going to be judging them on flavor, presentation, and creativity of those ingredients. With less than 30 seconds left on the clock here, let's get them excited here. Let's start having some fun. How was the food so far? Fantastic, fantastic. It's all about the details here. We got a nice little bit of a lemon zest coming over on Jada's side. Adriana's pulling us in here. She did the pickled. No, those are the fried.
We're going to count it down.
habaneros.
9, 8, 7.
Walk away from your plates. Walk away from your plates. Fantastic. If we can get some help over here to take Jada's dish over.
So, Jeff, I think before we have the judges, they're going to eat it. We always have folks in the audience who have an idea about how they would have taken care of this opportunity and presented this dish. Anybody, any amateurs out here want to talk about how they might have prepared this? All right. You look reasonably willing. You at least paid attention when I asked the question, so that's hopeful on my part. Audience participation, always a tricky endeavor.
Absolutely.
All right, so who are you?
Dave Brown. I live locally. I run a food truck. So I would have.
Oh, we have a ringer.
I would have.
Sounds like.
I would have probably taken the okra and maybe done like an ice cream with it, like an okra ice cream. You know, and taking that.
And said, hey, guys, from Chill Brothers, I need the equipment.
Like
bring
Chill
it out.
Brothers
Bring it on a set of wheels.
kind of thing.
I'm
Yeah.
going all out tonight. We're going dessert first
We're
thing.
going dessert first.
We're working our way backwards.
That's the way I would have
Always
played
eat
it that way.
backwards.
This,
No.
this, I think your suggestion falls similarly as mine did. Okay,
But
so,
let's find out from the expert of what she was doing with the dish. Jada, tell us about your dish tonight.
So this is sort of like a gumbo slash bisque, or at least you could call it like a bisque in the style of gumbo. So to utilize the okra, I actually tempura battered it, obviously going back to our Japanese roots at Noble Rice. So it's nice and crispy on top. I feel like a lot of people when they eat okra, it's really slimy, so I try to combat that. And then I really wanted to highlight the crawfish. So tons of crawfish inside of the soup itself, as well as butter poached on top. And then some pickled Fresnos on top just to kind of reinforce that heat, as well as some cayenne pepper in the soup as well.
I dig it. I dig it. And your judges here are judging on flavor, creativity, and presentation. Thomas.
yeah, maybe cover that again. What are they being judged on?
Flavor, creativity, and for presentation. With that being said, Thomas, let's find out from our judges how things are working out over here.
Okay, so let's get started. Are you ready? You want to tell us a little bit, Jessica, about what you saw?
Sure. Okay. From a presentation standpoint, it was beautiful. I loved the different colors that you used, especially the green in there that really was beautiful off of the bright orange red of the peppers you have here. Super crispy, just like you said, that tempura batter. And then the broth is really creamy and delicious. I love that. I think I'm getting some citrus notes in there, which really kind of add layers to it, and I think that's really lovely. For me, well, first I need a spoon because I want to slop more of it up, and it's delicious. But I would maybe add, 3 additional flakes of salt in there. Not much, but tiniest little hint.
Outstanding. Okay, Jamel?
You know, I love the creativity because in my mind, when I saw okra and crawfish, I instantly started thinking about gumbo.
Bingo. I told you, man. I was like, that was where my head was going, too.
Yeah, so
but this isn't a gumbo,
yes.
though.
So it's almost similar to a gumbo, but she made it to a bisque, which is creative, too, because now I'm thinking like lobster bisque, and instead of lobster, we got crawfish. So I enjoy that. The presentation was real nice. I love the fact that you garnish it with green onions. And then the flavor, love it. I love it.
All right.
Very cool.
Do you have any thoughts or opinions about this particular dish? Do they serve this at the Duval house?
unsure. You want me to hold this now? I now have the spoon, so I feel like I should eat it now. Okay, so you ready? You did a great job, first off. I would agree with my first judge that a little bit of salt would have been better. I like that the way that you took gumbo and twisted it into your own kind of thing. I can taste some of the Japanese flavors in there, so you did a really good job with that. If I had to critique, which they tell me I do, so don't hate me later, I would say the okra, maybe. I love the flavor of it being fried like that, but it gets lost a little bit like after you eat one, and then it kind of gets like soppy in the soup. But overall, I mean, touch more salt. Your flavors were there, your heat was there, your acidity was there, your texture was there. If salt's your worst enemy, I mean, you're doing a good job.
Very cool.
You can
First
have this
dish
back
down.
now.
You've still got another round to go. But now I need to hear a little bit about what Adriana cooked tonight. And let's start bringing those dishes out for our judges to score them on flavor, creativity, and presentation. That presentation, I want to make sure that, do we get a good photo of everything coming out on this side here? Fantastic. You know what? We're gonna hit them a little bit here on that first little bit, and maybe Rachel will get that first bite in first, and that way then we'll start working this direction with what our first impressions are for everything. And while they're getting their first few bites, walk us through that dish.
Okay, so I knew I wanted to try to combat the sliminess of the okra, so I tried to put it into a sauce with some cream, maybe try to like thin it out a little bit. I knew I wanted something crunchy. I knew I wanted something spicy on there, so I actually did a couple of fried jalapenos or fresnos, and then I did a couple of habanero as well. So I gave each of you one little slice of habanero in there as like a little surprise. I saw the salmon, so I knew I just kind of wanted to do a seafood, like salmon based. Frying the crawfish was like the first thing that came to my mind because fried crawfish is delicious.
What'd you do with your batter on that one? How'd you do that?
I just did a little bit of cornmeal and flour, and that with the peppers as well. So I hope the sauce didn't come out too slimy. Of course, I pickled some as well, so with the acid and the crunch and all that in there.
So you took it two ways.
Yes, yeah. I knew I wanted to try to do something. Yeah, I wanted to use it two ways, at least, more than one way. So
I like that. I like that a lot because it shows a little bit of the ingenuity there. And you have to highlight those ingredients. I mean, crawfish and okra right there, I mean, they go right well together. I mean, Jamal said it. Like, first thing that you went through your head was my thing, too. It's going to be a gumbo. You're going to play into that one. But you played differently into it. Rachel, walk us through the first few bites here.
Oh, it's coming this way now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say a few things. I think that your ingenuity was great. Everything that you tried to do was really awesome. I think your sauce was a little slimy. You probably knew that when you're putting it on the plate. But I think I loved where you were going with it, right? Obviously, 30 minutes is hard to cook in, so I think that you could have really made something awesome if you had 5 more minutes. My only thing is I wish that the crawfish and the okra were a little bit more flavor forward. Like, I want to eat the salmon on here. The skin is super crispy. It's cooked perfect. It's delicious. When I eat a bite with it, with the pickled okra and crawfish together, it's great, but it tastes like a really great salmon dish. But I think overall, the cornmeal breading on here is great. The crispy skin on the salmon's delicious. I mean, overall, very, very good.
Interesting point there that you make there, Rachel. Jamal, we heard it there. We've got the salmon, we've got the okra, we got the crawfish. 2 of those 3 were the secret ingredients. 1 was thrown in to accompany those 2 ingredients. Where does the okra, where does the crawfish shine in a dish?
It's definitely not a point of emphasis right now because, like, the salmon, it takes over the main, like, the whole flavor. But I like the idea that she tried to create like an okra sauce, but like you say, okra has kind of got a slimy taste to it. So, and it came out pretty good. It's kind of hard to incorporate the okra and the crawfish in this type of deal.
Okay, all right. But Jessica, we eat with our eyes first, though, right? I mean, that's what you were saying. It's all about the angles. It's all about the lighting. It's all about the pictures. How did it look when you got the first look at the dish?
Well, it looked beautiful. I loved seeing all the different elements on the plate, and I think that was really beautiful. Loved that you used the okra in 2 ways. I thought that was really wise, but I can agree that the salmon cooked beautifully, the skin is succulent, beautifully seasoned, and it kind of does take away a hair from some of the other items, some of the mystery ingredients. The pickling on this okra is phenomenal, though.
Nice. I love to hear that part because that is a very fun way to do this. Walk everyone at home because within 30 minutes, you just made a quick pickle, right? I mean, it's a fun word to say, too. I mean, you say it like 10 times fast, it's even more fun. But that's something that everyone here at home can learn and be able to do. Tell everyone how you did that within 30 minutes to be able to get that pickled flavor that was coming through with your okra.
Yeah. So pickling liquid, very easy. Vinegar, water, salt, just a little bit of sugar. I did that, threw a little bit of bay leaf in there. Make sure you salt it well. Just heat it up. As soon as you warm it, you can pour it over whatever you're trying to pickle, and you can create a quick pickle.
I dig it. And a quick pickle, everybody, you just learned a new life skill.
I didn't learn a thing.
You didn't learn a thing?
I didn't learn a thing. However, so our judges are going to complete their judging, but this is an audience participation opportunity. So up on your screen will come a QR code, and we want to ask you to answer 2 questions. The first is most creative use of the mystery ingredient.
Let's get those phones out, folks. We've got screens over here as well as in the back there.
Your polling results will come up straight away.
Real time. It is moving and shaking here, and it keeps going back and forth. This is the fun part of technology, folks. It is real. It is now. It is happening. You're a part of that, and you're having some fun inside the Signature Theater here at the Epicurean Hotel. And look at that. I mean, it's
pretty close.
Pretty close. Pretty close there, ladies. Well, that's just round 1. We still have another.
We got one more question. Or do I ask both questions now or the other one later?
Now.
So the second question is best presentation. Let's vote on best presentation if you would. Is this working? No idea if this is working. Here we go. Best presentation.
All right. And it constantly keeps moving. Now, does this help you two ladies to go into the next round knowing, like, all right, hey, I got a feel for it. I heard from the judges. I'm seeing what's going on. Because now I'm like, all right, hey, 1 down, 1 more to go. 1 more step closer to being in our finale for next week with you two ladies. One of them coming out on top. 1 step closer to being the Marty Blitz winner. What would that mean for either of you in your careers?
I mean, that would be awesome. Another, win under the belt would be great. But not only that, but just to do it for this charity in front of all you guys. My parents are in the crowd watching. And they, I want to make them proud. And this
Mom
and
awesome. Dad are here?
Mom and Dad are here.
Oh, get ready.
Boom.
We're coming to see you. All right.
Jada, what would it mean for you?
It would mean a lot. This definitely isn't my first competition, but I think this is the most almost like selfless one I've ever done since it's for such a great cause. So I take a lot of pride in doing this, not even because of how it might make me look, but just knowing what such a great cause it goes towards. And my mom and dad are watching at home, so hi.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Everybody
Hi
wave. So speaking of all of this, we have a gentleman in the room who works on our team, but right now he's horrified because he's thinking, for the love of God, don't ask me any questions. I don't want to talk to anybody. Is that about right, Robert?
You got it.
So, Robert, if people want to tag us, because, we're such a social organization, how can people tag us and make sure that if they're doing all this stuff on Snapface and all that kind of stuff, how do they do all that?
So if you aren't, please follow us on all of our social medias at Feeding Tampa Bay. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're there. And then use the hashtag EpicChef23 for all the fun from tonight.
And what about Threads? Do we have an opinion on Threads?
We're not there yet.
All right. So if you would, tag us and make sure folks know about it, know about what you're doing tonight. One of the things that we can do most is when you tag, say, hey, I was at a really cool event that helps raise awareness for people in our community who struggle with hunger. Right? Pretty simple. So thank you for that. We're on to round 2.
We're on to round 2.
So we have mystery ingredients coming in, but we have a unique way of introducing the next ingredients for our chefs. So one of our great partners in our work throughout the community is Boys and Girls Clubs of Feeding Tampa Bay. Why do we highlight this? Because one of the things you need to know is we're taking care of an awful lot of children in our community who don't have meals on their tables. So we like to highlight that in this section. And one of the ways we do that is we ask a youngster to introduce our mystery ingredients. So I think we have a video about that.
Let's hear it from Chase.
I'm Chase. I said, I want the chef to cook macaroni and cheese.
Hey, Ev, can we play that again? I don't think we got that. Is that possible? How cute is this kid?
I'm Chase. I said, I want the chef to cook macaroni and cheese.
Right, so a round of applause for Chase.
I love it.
I have to stay within this red line. Yeah. So, we know
Chase
one
had
of the
fun with one of the ingredients.
Yeah. So what do we got?
And then Chef John here at the Elevage Epicurean has been able to do the second ingredient for tonight. And that ingredient here, Guajillo chili peppers. Tell us a little bit about these peppers tonight.
Well, it's dry, pretty much it's not a spicy pepper, but it has some smokiness on it. And it will be a good fit with the mac and cheese, boxed mac and cheese.
Not just any mac and cheese, but boxed mac and cheese tonight. 30 minutes to cook the most incredible dish using these guajillos and the boxed macaroni and cheese. Ladies, are you ready? Because your time starts now.
So, where's my basket? Do you know?
Now, while Thomas gets those baskets out here, I want to give a shout out to one of my friends in the room here who helps tell the stories of Tampa Bay, who has been a huge supporter of this incredible organization and is really pushing the level for us as a readership in the Tampa Bay area. And that's Ray Roa with Creative Loafing over here. Ray, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so very much for doing everything that you guys do with the incredible talent of the Creative Loafing to support a mission like this.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. So one of the things we like to do with our audience, because these are always interesting answers. Hi, how are you? Huh? Right up until I walked up, you were doing great? So we like to ask questions, because again, one of the things we all share is the love for food, or we all ingest food. I still want to ask the question about why we choose any ingredient that starts with slimy in its description. But here is your question after you tell us who you are. What is your favorite food memory?
Hello, I'm Carrie Hoyme, and I've been in the Tampa Bay area for 3.5 years.
Where'd you come from?
We moved here from Atlanta, Georgia.
So this is a much better city than Atlanta, Georgia, right?
It's a lot sunnier.
Well, and we're here.
That's right. You guys are all here. We love it. I would have to say my favorite food memory as a child would be my father's family's all from Greece, and my mom learned how to make Greek food when I was young, and so we learned to make Greek pastries growing up and Greek dishes, and so that's probably my favorite memory, being in the kitchen.
Oh, so you helped prepare it?
Yes, I helped her prepare.
So it wasn't just the food itself, it was the process of preparing.
The process of preparing, very tedious, lots of layering and ingredients.
Thank you, and thanks for coming and being here with us today. We appreciate it. Jane Grout, I'm coming to you. All right. I have two questions for you. One of them I made up on the spot. Is Miracle Whip really a miracle?
Absolutely.
I love Miracle Whip. I knew I loved you for a reason. Miracle Whip, I mean, seriously. How many people love Miracle Whip? How many people hate Miracle Whip? We're inviting different people next time. How many people remember Fluffernutter? All right, so Jane, here's your question. First, tell us a little bit about yourself. And then tell us, what is your favorite comfort food?
Well, my name is Jane. I'm the North Florida Region President for Cisco. Been in Tampa Bay for about 6 years. Been with Cisco about 4, but prior to that, I was a 25-year veteran in the Coca-Cola system. So yes. And I would never speak illy on Miracle Whip or any other product we distributed through globally. So FYI, Miracle Whip is fantastic. Oh, and what was the other? My favorite comfort food.
Yeah, it's kind of the point of this whole thing. What's your favorite?
I can't say anything with Miracle Whip. I can't say that. I would probably say pizza. I agree 100% with pizza.
Yeah, when we hear, more often than not, when you ask people this question, pizza comes up over and over. And you think about when you've had a stressful day, aside from having an adult beverage. Did I lose my basket? Aside from having an adult beverage, right? A tasty comfort food. Jeff, what's your comfort food?
They're cooking it tonight. Mac and cheese. Hands down. Hands down. An adult macaroni cheese, lobster, some shrimp, some crab meat, some beautiful cheese that just go into it. Nice little bit of a toasted panko breadcrumbs. That right there would be my favorite to do.
That feels a little different than the box that they have.
Hey, look, I mean, these are two of some of the best chefs here that are competing. I'm sure they can make something with it.
All right, so we have a unique opportunity that Mom and Dad are in the audience tonight. All right, so can you introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about who you are.
I'm Jimmy Siller. I'm Adriana's dad, and we're from Dade City, Florida, small town, USA.
You got to be pretty proud of your girl right now.
Yes, we are. Very proud of her.
Now, is she your only child?
No, we have a 13-year-old.
But she was for 16 years.
Right, she was.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can we get a little more information?
And 16 years later, we had 16 years later, we had a son.
I think we need to know what the concert was.
No,
it was a comedy. It was George Lopez.
Yeah. So we kid that George Lopez is her dad because she took off to go meet him, at backstage to try to get a picture, so.
Okay, I think we just need to skip the rest of the competition. What exactly is her comfort food?
Menudo.
Isn't that a boy band, Menudo?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was.
Can you tell us what Menudo is?
It's honeycomb tripe, and we make it in a soup, and it's just Mexican comfort food. Good for hangovers, good for Sunday mornings, good for any time. She can eat it any time of the day.
Wonderful to have you here, and thanks, Mom and Dad, for coming out and supporting. And a round of applause for the other parents who are watching on TV.
And as the food starts coming its way from the kitchen, please do not hesitate to start getting the first few bites into your next dish that has been prepared here. And the menu is there for you.
Yeah, we're going to give you a couple of minutes to tuck into your food, and then we'll be back to talk a little bit more. We're going to hear from our lead sponsor and one of our colleagues, but let's make sure you have a chance to dive into your dinner.
And we'll be right back.
No. We'll eat first.
Girl, you think you got it bad. Girl, you think you got it bad. Girl, you think you got it bad. Got all different ways with the same old payout. Had our own
love you. Give me a reason to be a woman. I just wanna be a woman. So don't you stop being a man. Just take a little look from outside when you can. So a little tenderness. No matter if you cry. Give me a reason to love you. Give me a reason to be a woman. I just wanna be a woman. So I wanna be a woman.
Okay, everybody. I hope you're enjoying a wonderful meal. I want to remind you that the chefs here at the Epicurean created that for you tonight. They also curated the wines that you're drinking and all the various beverages that you're having. So again, thank you to the Epicurean for hosting this 8 years now. Yes. When we first started talking about this opportunity and talked to Tom and Norwood and other folks at the Epicurean and why we would do this, one of their great commitments as an organization is to highlight, as we said, not only food in the community and helping others, but also corporate social responsibility. They were new to the area. They wanted to step in and make an impact in the community. They found our way to us, and we've developed a great partnership with them. But speaking of community impact, we want to have a moment today with our sponsors from Florida Blue, who have been our lead sponsor every year for this event. So we have Matthew Charles Tierney with us tonight. Matthew, if you would. So Matthew, I think the first question we would think about in a moment like this is if you're going by 3 names, I assume you were in trouble a lot as a kid.
Yeah, you could say that.
I would.
It's also a comforting name. You know, my mother calls me by that.
So mom calls you Matthew Charles all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well done. Well done, Mom.
Yeah, I agree.
Where is Mom?
Minnesota.
Long way away. Okay, so I think one of the things that people always want to know about, how does a healthcare company end up sponsoring Epic Chef, and how does a healthcare company get involved with a food bank? Why are you in partnership with us?
Yeah, it's an easy answer. I mean, we're a health and well-being company, a health solutions company. Our mission is quite simple as well. It's to help people and communities achieve better health. I'll hold it a little closer. And so, you know, in that regard, anything we can do to help our community and anyone in the community, it's not just our members, it's not just our partners, you know, our business employers, it's literally people in community. And so we're very lucky and fortunate to have the Florida Blue Foundation, which has, you know, enough of an endowment to do things like this, sponsor activities like this. And we sponsor a lot of different activities, you know, but one of our 3 pillars in the company, not just right now, but for the foreseeable future, are really food insecurity, mental health, behavioral health, and then it's healthcare equity. And if you just break down the numbers, I don't want to bore people with too many numbers, but you know, health equity is a $300-some billion problem in the U.S. 1/3 of that is due to food insecurity. So So of the 360 billion, a third of that is related to food insecurity. So, and the other thing is those three pillars I mentioned, they're all correlated and tied together. You know, if you think about it, if you're hungry, right, and you don't have a meal, you know, how will you have mental health, right? I mean, that'd be kind of difficult, right? And then again, you know, the health equity piece, a third of that medical cost expense, that claims expense, the expense to our ecosystem is due to food insecurity. So for us, it's a no-brainer. Not only is it a good investment, it's good for our company.
Thank you. And I think, you know, you really described it well. One of the things we don't talk about enough is that food insecurity is a healthcare crisis. We tend to want to put food insecurity into some sort of moral failing of somebody that didn't do what they should do. One of the things, if we could disabuse one notion here, and Kelly can talk about this, the folks that we're privileged to serve are brave, hardworking folks who are challenged with a broad variety of issues in their lives that would break the backs of many of us, one of which is healthcare. So talk just a little bit more about why health and food are so important to the people that you all serve.
Absolutely. You know, I come from kind of a finance analytics background, so forgive me if I cover too many numbers, but I think they're important, right, because it shows the impact. But to put some more of this into perspective, if you're food insecure, you're spending another 20% a year in healthcare costs than someone that's food secure. That's another $2,500 per food insecure person. That's a lot of money. Many of these people that are food insecure, they don't have any money to buy insurance. You know, we have zero cost insurance products. The difficult thing is many folks are uninsured. There's a trust issue in the system, right? Or there's health literacy issues, transportation issues, housing issues. You know, they're dealing with so many issues that it's just another issue, right? And another thing, but getting people into healthcare, they get our resources. I do want to mention, though, we have Florida Blue Centers. They're open to anyone. You don't need to have our insurance. You can go in, get a free health screen. And this is for you all to know and just tell people you know when you're out meeting food insecure people. But anyone can go in, free health screen, free information, resources on food insecurity. You know, we direct people to your firm and your organization. And what was the other part of that question?
I think you knocked it out of the park. I think you did a great job. I think when we wonder why folks step into places, we tend to view corporations as a corporation. But our experience has been, even for us, for Kelly and I and Chatty Robert over there, our insurance provider is Florida Blue. And they have been great to us over the years. But think about partnerships in the way that they work. As you mentioned, now when we do food distributions, often Florida Blue is there with us to see if there's anybody who's uninsured that we can get connected to insurance who otherwise wouldn't know about it. So thank you very much, Matthew. So we appreciate you guys being here year after year. And so I think it's probably time for us to do a check-in. But before we do that, I want to bring up one of my great colleagues and friends, Kelly Sims, who's our Chief Development Officer, just to talk a little bit about the mission and a little bit more about what we do.
Thank you, Thomas.
You have to stand in between the red lines.
Like I'm perfectly centered. So how many of you all are attending Epic Chef or any Feeding Tampa Bay event for the first time tonight? I thought it was a large part of our audience. And so as you've listened to the program so far, I hope you've gotten to know a little bit about Feeding Tampa Bay. You've gotten to know a little bit more about the restaurant partnerships that we have. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit more about the people that we serve. And Thomas and Matt mentioned a little bit about that. But think about in the 10-county region that Feeding Tampa Bay is responsible for, there are 1 million people who on a regular basis don't know where their next meal would come from. That's 1 in 7 adults and 1 in 4 children. And I always have to be quiet for a little minute when we think about 1 in 4 kids not knowing where their next meal is going to come from. And so as you leave tonight, you may say to yourself, you know, I want to do a little bit more. I want to get involved. I want to get involved in a little way, or I want to get involved in a larger way. And my job tonight, and at Feeding Tampa Bay in general, is to just expose people to those opportunities. So whether you have some volunteer time, an hour, or whether your corporation has a group team building where you say, you know what, let's go and let's sort some food, let's help people get some boxes of food out into the community. You may say, with Robert's help, and Thomas was great to introduce you to our social platforms, you may say, you know what I can do now is I can tell the story. I can be a part of saying I went to an event, I learned about the fact that 1 in 4 kids in our region is hungry, and I'm going to do that for now. And then finally, and I always have to laugh a little bit, I'm a development officer, so of course I'm going to talk about helping us fund some of the things that we do. So our operation is an expensive one. It's a wonderful mission. And you may have heard that we're in the process of building a new facility. It's underway right now, a $60 million project that the community has come alongside of us and supported at a really incredible rate. We're not quite finished, so if anyone says, you know, I'd like to be a part of that building, or I'd like to be a part of supporting your everyday programs, reach out and let us know. But if we leave you with anything, think about the people that we serve.
Right. Thank you, Kelly.
You know, and I think about that part with the people that you serve. And it's 1 in 7 adults that sometimes they're just having some tough times on their life. That it's just something that happens and it can throw them off into a world. I want to do an exercise right here, right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Will you stand up for me, sir? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Will you stand up for me, sir? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ma'am, will you stand up for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sir, will you stand up for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Will you stand up for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Will you stand up for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Will you stand up for me, ma'am? You had to make a credit card bill. You didn't eat tonight. Ma'am, you had no gas in the car, but you had to make the decision. Do I go to get gas in the car so I can go to work tomorrow, or do I feed my family? You're overdraft now for the 3rd day in a row, and those fees keep adding up. Ma'am, you had the hardest day of your life right now because you didn't know that there was an option like Florida Blue to go get help right now. So that way then you could actually find a service for you so you could get a great health care and to be able to have a free screening that is complimentary to the public. Sir, you had no idea where your food was going to be, but you made sure that your kid had that meal because that was 1 in 4. You were 1 in 7. You had to make a hard decision tonight. And you just got laid off. You don't know what you're going to be doing next, but you know that you got to do something. There's a lot of people in this community that are facing real things. We take it for granted, but those 7 people, they can't, because that's the cards that they've been given. The cards that you all were given is a voice, like Kelly said. The voice that you were given was to learn more about those stories on the back of your menu. There's media influencers in this room for a reason. It's not because let's be cool. It's because let's be able to tell the story. You all are a part of that story, and you all have a voice to be able to share in it.
Thank you, Jeff. So we have a couple of celebrity guests over here, or at least they fancy themselves celebrities. Jeff is going to do a check-in in a minute, but can you please introduce yourself and tell us why you're here and who you're here with?
Following the heavy stuff, this is so great for me. My name is Tara Badiato. I'm the Vice President of Community Impact for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I am a celebrity worldwide.
Yes, worldwide celebrity, if you don't know that. And who is your guest here, or who are you here with tonight?
I'm here with Jamel Dean.
How's that fella doing so far?
Like, I cannot say enough nice things about you. Not only are you this incredible athlete.
Are you talking about Jamel?
Not you. Yes, Jamel.
That was my mistake, sorry.
Not only are you this incredible athlete, but you are such a good human being. We're so lucky to have you on the Bucks, and I can't wait to see you shine this season.
I like that.
Now, next to you is another celebrity. So we only got a few minutes left. Tell us who you are.
My name is Stacy Stanton. I am Rachel Bennett's wife, and I'm a hairdresser here to eat some really good food tonight, folks.
What do you think of my hair?
I enjoy it. It's real neat.
Rachel told me to ask you that. How do you think Rachel's doing so far as a judge in the competition?
I mean, she's the best. I think
She's judgy by nature, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. It comes naturally. Comes naturally.
Ask questions and then take the mic away. It's
I'm not really very good at this.
It's not nice.
You are more than welcome to take this from me. You're welcome.
You think she's doing a great job?
I think she's doing a fantastic job.
Thank you both for being here with us tonight.
Our
We
judges
appreciate
are doing a great job, and our contestants are doing a great job with just about 2.5 minutes left to go here. Adriana, I saw it. You smiled. You were laughing. We just did the whole elbow thing here because we're excited. What are you going to be cooking tonight? What did you do for our judges?
I did a macaroni tostada with a guajillo chili and then like a guajillo cheese mixture, and then I did a pico de gallo with a little bit of that guajillo cheese in there as well.
You guys are in for a real big treat on this one. That one looks absolutely fantastic. Not to be outdone, though. Jada, you're finishing the last few touches over here, too. Do I see toasted panko breadcrumbs?
Toasted panko breadcrumbs fortified with a little blended macaroni pasta.
See, that is a comfort food right there, people. See, that's really cool. All right, so then we've got here just about 1 minute and 50 seconds left for you guys to see these coming out. Judges, I mean, a little bit of everything going on. First round had us going in 2 different directions. This round, I mean, they are smiling, they're laughing. They're actually ahead of time on this one. I mean, Jamel, look, you're in the room looking and going like, all right, what's going on over there? What's happening over here? Give it to me now. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing some great creativity going on right now. I like the Spanish-style macaroni. I'm looking forward to tasting. And then also, your comfort food. I want to see what your comfort food is, see what it tastes like.
I dig it. And with just about 1 minute and 15 seconds left, you're going to be digging it. You're going to be having some fun with that comfort food. Rachel, comfort food is something that's very special. I mean, it is something that just brings everybody together. The favorite memories of anything are centered around a dinner table. I mean, is this going to be a comfort dish that's going to be sending one of them through to the next round?
I definitely think so. I mean, just watching them, I can tell that they were a little nervous in the beginning, just seeing those ingredients. But now just watching them and seeing that they're doing things that they're comfortable with. Even Adriana, I can tell you're very proud of your dish. You're doing something that now is ingredients you're used to working with. And then even Jada over here, I can just tell they're very proud of their dishes, which is going to be super awesome.
I dig it. I love that you're being able to see that piece of it all together.
And Jeff, I just want to give another shout out to Cheney Brothers for providing all the food that you see here.
Without a doubt in our minds. We couldn't have done this without them. They got the chef's play here. This is like a playground for them right now with these ingredients.
So we're going to count it down from 10. We're almost there, but audience, count it down for us.
I don't even know if they need the countdown. They are so ready to rock and roll. They were already watching. But let's go for it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's the signs of a professional. They were ahead of the clock right there. They knew what they had to do. They had 30 minutes to do it. They've got 30 minutes to be judged on flavor, creativity, and presentation. And Adriana, why don't you come on over and bring your dishes? We'll bring those out. We've got a few photos for us here. All right. The joy you had in cooking this dish, how nervous were you coming out of the first round, and did you have to pivot your strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty nervous the first round. There weren't really many ingredients I was comfortable with. I'm best with Mexican food and Mexican flavors. And I just did not expect guajillo and mac and cheese. So I don't know. I knew the tortillas were in there. I love a pico de gallo. I love mac and cheese. A little bit of the crab claws that were in the fridge as well. So that's a little bit of that in the mac and cheese. And yeah, I felt good with it. I love a tostada.
How fun is it when you get to just be given those ingredients and then you just say, I got this? What is that? What's going through your head in that moment?
It feels good because the first round, the first 20 minutes, I really didn't know which direction I was going. But this one, I had an idea. I went for it. It felt good. I felt a lot better this round.
Were there any moments where you had to kind of detract from what was the original strategy going to this one? Or you said, I got this right from when the clock started, 30 minutes later, here we are, and you stayed true to that plan?
Yeah, I mean, so then the first round, the salmon, I know overshone my other two ingredients. And this one I pulled out the crab claws. I thought maybe I would do something with the crab claws, but I knew I didn't want to overshadow the macaroni and the chili. So yeah, I pivoted really quick, and it just kind of came together for me. So
I dig it. I dig it. And our judges, let's find out how things are working with the first few bites over here.
You want to start with Jessica?
Let's go for it, Thomas.
So I love the creativity here. Love how you plated it. I thought that was really fun, and it adds an additional crunch that's really satisfying. Mac and cheese, you can't beat that like as a comfort food, so I think it's really delicious and creamy. And then the sauce, really lovely. Has a lot of layers to it.
Okay, Jamel?
Just knowing where you come from, your background, I love the fact that you was able to incorporate what you're comfortable with. And you know, I love Spanish food, and then this right here is like very unique to me because I would have never thought to put macaroni on tortilla really. So, and it tastes real good too. It tastes really good.
Thank you.
I dig it.
You really shined on this one. This one was really awesome. You definitely can tell you were very comfortable. The flavors are delicious. You have everything that you look for in a dish. Salt, acidity, sweetness, heat. I mean, the crunch is there. I'm going to eat this whole thing, so don't take this plate away, okay? All right.
Very good. Very good. 2 dishes down. Let's see where it goes. All right. Jada, you want to come on over to my side? So we didn't do some dishes like the first one. We went totally different. We went into that comfort. That's where we started using that word from, because that's where it started to play into it. So you brought a little bit of a comfort. You got excited when I said, yo, you making a polenta right now? You did. Walk us through real fast again this dish.
So this is a play on shrimp and grits. When I saw the mac and cheese, I thought, okay, I have to highlight that cheese. So I felt like the cheese sauce would play better with polenta rather than regular old grits. So lots of cheese sauce in the grits, as well as cheddar cheese. On top is going to be a guajillo paste, almost like what you would get in like a birria taco. So that consomme is tossed in the seared shrimp. A little bit of fennel fronds on top for some brightness. And then I actually took the noodles, instead of just making pasta, blitzed them up and incorporated them in a garlicky breadcrumb mixture. So regular panko in there, as well as pulverized noodles, toasted garlic, as well as some tarragon, and then a lemon on side that you definitely want to squeeze on top just to help elevate everything, because it is a very comforty, homey dish, but still really, hopefully, delicious.
Very cool. Very unique. I love the fact that you used the noodles and you pulverized them to make more of what's going to bring that texture. So it wasn't going to be something that was going to just be in its cooked form, but you were able to really breathe a new way of life into it. When you're in the kitchen, how important is it for you to see ingredients and for you to be able to breathe new life into ingredients that might have been more traditional to some, but for you to see it a little bit differently and say, I'm going to go that route?
I think it's very important, especially when you are working in a restaurant. We're very fortunate at Noble Rice that we get the best ingredients, but there's often times too where sometimes you have to bring ingredients to life because we're here to make money. So sometimes bringing those simplistic ingredients and giving them in a way that's more elevated, that makes people want to come back for more and pay top dollar for it.
I love that. And I think that that's something really special, because at the end of the day, it always is about the business part too, right? So people have to have that sense of purpose, especially in the kitchen world, of how it's going to actually be selling and what it's going to be moving. Judges here, Thomas, let's find out if this is something that would be on Rachel's menu at the Stovall House.
I think it's the Duval House. Sorry.
Right when I drink the water, you call on me. Unbelievable. So this dish is really cool. I just want to say that, like, you're cool for making this dish. You know, the fact that it's shrimp and grits. I know this sounds weird, but like, you're cool. It's everything that I love, right? Like taking really familiar flavors, flipping it on its head, taking something like macaroni and cheese, and there's nothing that's macaroni and cheese on this plate, but you've used the noodles, you use the cheese sauce, you use the peppers, and it's really this elevated dish. So you should be really proud of yourself, because doing something like this in 30 minutes, it's really amazing. So you're a really talented chef. This is really awesome.
So the fact that you went with the idea of shrimp and grits, I'm a country boy. I'm really a country boy. So this hits home, like grits and seafood. But I love the creativity, love the presentation. You know, the fact that this was different. I thought you were gonna add macaroni to like the dish, but you incorporate with shrimp and grits, but use that as like macaroni after breading. That's creative to me. So you did a good job on this meal here. So good job.
Yeah, I love the presentation. I thought it was really beautiful and really unique way to incorporate both ingredients here. Especially for me, what really stood out was the breadcrumbs. There was so much flavor in them, and then especially adding that lemon really elevated all of it. So my first bite was without it, and then after I added it, I could see how it really made the dish sing. For me personally, my shrimp were just a hair overcooked, but otherwise you really made all the ingredients really sing together.
I love this. I mean, this is the fun part of the job here, folks. 30 minutes in the first round, you're working out the kinks. The two of you are kind of, figuring each other out, figuring out each other's competition, figuring out the ingredients, what to do. There's cameras, there's people. I mean, this is not something that you're used to on a daily basis, but you two have had opportunities like this before. So it's almost like you guys were ready for this. The one missing component was the mission behind it that brings it all together. And that's what tonight allows us the opportunity to do, is be able to tell great stories, being able to bring great people together, good stewards in our business community to make an impact all together. We as a group just saw something really special, really cool within 1 hour. Ladies, round of applause for the two of you.
That said it all. So you do have an opportunity again. We'll put a QR code up there. Our judges are filling out their sheets. We do have an opportunity again for you to vote. And the first question is again, most creative use of a mystery ingredient.
It's for all of you guys. Bring those cameras back out. You guys have some fun with it. Pull it up on the camera here, on the screen here, and we're going to be having you guys participate in that use of the mystery ingredient in its form of creativity. All right. The judging continues. And a follow-up question to it there, I think, right?
Yeah, the second one is, I got to learn this microphone thing. The second one is best presentation.
So you all here in this room get to have a little bit of fun, just like our judges. Our judges, again, are judging them on flavor, creativity, and presentation. Those two dishes, those two rounds, had those mystery ingredients picked by our friend Chase, who was able to give us these incredible ingredients. Ladies, why don't you come on our
side? If you can come out here for a moment, we'll chat with you a bit more. So we do have a few questions that often get asked, right? I think first question is, and we know both of you have competed before. What's it like to compete in something like this?
It's very nerve-wracking. I think a lot of times people, when they watch Food Network shows, they always question if the clock is real and if there's tons and tons of time to think about what you're going to make, and absolutely not. The clock is definitely very real, and it goes by a lot faster than you think. It's all kind of just based off improv. Like the first idea you probably have is not going to work out, but kind of like keeping those wheels turning and just keep pushing and working like you're in the weeds to the very last second. And also meeting like really amazing people. I've never done a show before where I haven't had like lifelong friends, even though my life hasn't been very long. But people who I feel like will be here for a while, and being able to compete with really amazing chefs is like the best part of it all.
Adriana, walk us through a little bit of that too, in the sense that you come into it with a plan. You've got the clock. You've got to manage the clock. You've got to manage the expectations. You got to start up with a plan, though. How much of that is, hey, I'm going to just go right through with that original plan, or hey, I need backups. I need to have options, because if something's not timed right, it could throw the entire dish off, and then what? How much did that play into some of what you were doing tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you come into it with an idea. You have a few ideas of what you're going to do, They open up the basket and then just kind of everything changes. It never gets any easier competing for me. I was so nervous today, even going into it. Opening the first basket, your brain kind of jumbles, and it's just a matter of getting it done. We've been doing this for long enough that you can come up with something, it's going to taste good, and it's just a matter of what your competitor does, and it's always a good time. It's always scary, always fun.
Are there any questions for our chefs from the audience? Anything you wanted to know about their experience?
Oh, nerves? 9 or 10 for me. I don't know about Jada.
No, I'm right there with you. 9 it never gets easier, and I think that's a good thing. The nerves kind of push you. So if I wasn't nervous, I would be a little worried.
And it shows you care.
Thank you, Mom. Any other questions? Oh.
I got much respect for both of you guys because I know what that pressure feel like. Just the on the spot. It's almost like just at first you come with a game plan, and then now you got to make quick adjustment off of something that you wasn't expecting. And you guys handled it very well, man. I got much respect for you guys. So just keep up the good work.
So we're getting close to, our judges will be in a moment for a tally. This is the time when we do like to bring all of our friends from the Epicurean in that served us tonight to see if we can give them a thank you. It's often a challenge because if you don't know, they're also operating an entire restaurant behind us while we're doing this. But we would like to say hello and thank you to all our friends from the Epicurean. Come on down in the middle. So from all of us, thank you for making tonight such a terrific event. We're honored to be here in your restaurant. Again, a round of applause for these terrific folks. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Copy and paste the slide and then just put a new caption to say,
Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you, Chef. Do we have a result?
We have a tie. Ladies and gentlemen.
No way.
Yeah, we've never actually had this happen. So we are right now going to ask you all to get those phones out again. Because you all are going to be a part of what was happening tonight with our judges, because you guys are going to have the final say in tonight's winner. We have never, ever in 8 years have had a tie going into this round, and it is dead even. And so instead of getting other ingredients and saying you've got 10 minutes or 5 minutes and make something, we right now have the team outside putting together a quick slide for the QR code to come up on the screen for you. Get the cameras ready because you all are going to be moving the needle. One of these fine ladies is going to be moving forward next week in this competition, and they are going to be crowned the champion for the first 3 weeks. Who will be moving on? We don't know yet. You're a part of that process. A winner up tonight will be going home, though, not empty-handed. They're going to be going home with a set of custom shin knives, a bottle of wine, this beautiful knife roll setup, too. Like, it's badass. I'm not going to lie. You're going to absolutely love it. Like, it's very, very nice. So we're going to be seeing this through. Let's make sure that we get everybody on their phones going for and on that vote. So that way then we can make sure that we have this as an opportunity for you all to participate in who is going to be winning tonight with a first ever tie here inside the Signature Theater at the Epicurean Hotel. And the judging is still going. The numbers are moving. Let's do a countdown at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Call it. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This has never happened before, but the clock was set. We all said it. We all did it. We all were a part of it. And moving on for next week will be Chef Adriana Siller from Bandit Coffee. But not to go home empty-handed. And so I want to say something too. Whoa, I just broke. I broke. We all have the opportunity to make a difference. We all have the impact. You all have that as the stories here to make an impact in their lives. And it is really cool to see your journey. Many of you know that I was in the TV world for doing the food stuff and had a lot of fun. More importantly, when you give, you receive. I was given a huge opportunity, and I did a ton of charity work and did a ton of private dinners. And my sous chef at every single one of them was Jada. Her first knife was a knife that I got her. And I asked her when she came in, you still use the knife? Every day. We all have an opportunity to make an impact. Don't ever lose that sight. Don't ever lose that moment. Invest in someone else because you never know where they're going to go. Both of you are going places.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week for week 3, which is where you'll compete against the winner from last week. I think as Jeff said, and as we all know, it's very, very difficult for one person to move on and one doesn't, but we're so grateful that you're willing to give us the gift of your time and your talent today on behalf of another. So thank you all for being here with us tonight, enjoying a meal. I hope you had a great time. As Kelly said earlier, we would love for you to tell the story of our community and what you learned tonight. But your journey isn't quite over if you don't want it to be. Our friends at Cisco have made sure that you have a really tasty dessert. So when you leave, on your way out, please make sure that you get some of those wonderful sweets. And hopefully, we will see you again here at another restaurant elsewhere or somewhere in our community. But thank you for your night tonight. And again, a last round for our chefs. And for our wonderful judges.
Keep it up.
And for our great co-host.
And co-host to my left. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll see you at the dessert bar. Thank you very much, Cisco.
Just to be stronger than me. You've been here 7 years longer than me. Don't you know you're supposed to be the man? Not pale in comparison to who you think I am. You always wanna talk it through. I don't care. I always have to comfort you when I'm there. Cause I've forgotten all of young love's joy. Feel like a lady and you my lady boy. You should be stronger than me, but instead you're longer than frozen turkey. Why'd you always a crime. I've forgotten all of young love's joy. Feel like a lady and you my lady boy. You should be stronger than me. You should be stronger than me. You should be stronger than me. You should be stronger than me.
Are you ready? I got a brand new dance here for you. This one is called the zombie. But when you hear that zombie rocking slow till the break of dawn in the Congo, ain't gonna lay to rest till the morning light. Gonna raise some sand in the dead of night. My mama hear them mumbling low. They go shuffling, shuffling across the floor. Can you hear the little children cry? Watch out! Zombies are terrible to ride. This old new sensation, another stone cold hit coming up out the radio. It goes so slow, it don't never quit. Man, you can't fight it, don't even try. Left and right days gone in drag step time. This old repetition make them lose their mind. So children, direct your feet right away on long. That all infectious beat, come on. Everyone you know's out in the street, we gonna see if you can't sing along. When you hear that zombie rockin' slow till the break of dawn in the Congo, ain't gonna lay to rest till the morning light. Gonna raise some sand in the dead of night. When my mama hear them mumbling low, they go shuffling, shuffling across the floor. Little children cry. Watch out! Zombies are terrible to fight. I've grown so afraid of the man in the street with a finger on the pulse, look dead on his feet. Where you said, all I want to do is eat and eat. I close my eyes, but why can I not rest? 'Cause the fear of death that do not die unsettle me where I lie. That's why I bring 'em my best old slow-footed jump. Here rolling with the things in the night go bump. I won't rid my head of all that nasty niggling junk. But when you hear this zombie rocking slow till the break of dawn in the Congo, ain't gonna lay to rest till the morning light. Gonna raise some sand in the dead of night. My mama hear them mumbling low. They go shuffling, shuffling across the floor. Can you hear the little children cry? Watch out! Zombies are terrible. 'Cause
get your punishment when you show me your crumbs. And it's not the spell or a curse you put on me, or the way you make me smile so tenderly. How I wish it was your temper you were throwing. Damn you for being so easy going. I thought that time would tell. My sins would provoke you to raise some hell. No, not a chance. Whatever happened to fiery romance? How I wish it was your dishes you were throwing. Damn you for being so easy going.